I'm just grateful to have her in the room. She's based in North Carolina now, and so we're going to bring her in, get right to it. Y'all welcome to the Faith Room for the first time, Mahogany Clark.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
What up, Mahogany?
Good morning.
I did something. Was that cold, Mahogany? What I did, was that wrong? What you think?
Did you just see what he did to me? He called my boss.
I did. that was cold.
Because I'm supposed to be at work right now.
Right. Yeah, I see that.
It was all in fun. So, Mahogany, they'll welcome you into the room. I've been telling you how proud of you I am to be. Your future is so bright. I've been telling you that. You so humble, all just you consistent. I'm proud of you. So the co-host is going to kind of lead into some conversation. And we've been talking about identity crisis. It's been a great conversation. A lot of people are dealing with identity crisis from just a broad spectrum of things. So I'm going to turn it over to the co-host, Mahogany, and we want to glean from you today. So welcome to the room. Cherie, I'm going to turn it to you, sis.
All right. So first of all, let me say congratulations to you on your authorship of this book, Self-Love Now. Nate, fix that. Can you just give the Faith Roomers just a brief synopsis of what your book is about, and then we'll go from there. What is this book about?
Yes. So Self-Love Now, it's basically a revamped version of my very first book, because I also have another book called Self-Love originally, but that was my very first one that I ever written. I wrote that one at 19. I was still in the military. I had been in the military a year at the time. And I used to just write poetry. I would write quotes, or I would write things to help me basically navigate my emotions, or, get them out in some kind of way. Because growing up, like where I come from, the time that I come from, children didn't have much of a voice. Like we were kind of told, stay in a child's place. There wasn't much that, we could say, but without it being disrespectful or things like that. So I had to find a way to navigate and write. So that's where the Self-Love book came in. And then the Self-Love Now book comes in basically because I'm basically going into detail about what self-love means to me now. Because when I very first wrote Self-Love, I was younger, about 6 years ago, I was 19. So it still has a similar meaning to me, same thing, but I'm basically living what I wrote 6 years ago. Like I wrote it 6 years ago to where I wanted to be now, but I still wasn't in that place. I still wasn't loving myself. I still, didn't have the self-esteem that I needed. I didn't know how to create boundaries. I still, those type of things. So I wrote those things, but I still wasn't walking in it. In this book, Self-Love Now, basically, I go back into the thoughts that I had where I wasn't loving myself to the thoughts that I have when I did.
Okay, so are these books, is it a reader, or is it like poetry? Is it a devotion? Like, what is it?
The first one, the Self-Love, that's a poetry book, but the Self-Love Now, that book is a quote book. So it's more of a snapshot word moment of different things that different thoughts and different feelings that I've had. So it's more of a quote book, kind of like Rupai Kaur, like Milk and Honey. How her books are more like quotes. It's more like, yeah.
Okay, got you. So with that being said, I know you kind of mentioned the first book. The thought around it was, as a child, you didn't have much of a voice. Was there a particular thing that prompted you to say, you know what, I need to go ahead and write this book? What was there a particular event, a particular occurrence that prompted you to push you to say, I'm going to write this, I'm going to publish this, I'm going to document this so that other people can see what I'm doing? What was that thing?
Yes, it was simply just really at the time I was away from home for the first time, and it was simply the relationships that I encountered, friendships, even just a romance relationship that I encountered that it didn't go, the best way because of the way that I was carrying myself at the time. I was too much of I always kind of felt like I needed somebody, or I needed something to make me feel whole or something like that. And
That's real.
I realized that that wasn't, what I needed. Like all along, everything I thought I needed or everything I was looking for on the outside of myself, I had it the whole time. And that's basically what pushed me to put my words into a book so that other people can see it and it's available to other people and they can relate to it if they need to, or, so basically make it more solid, make it more, my own, basically.
Okay. And you said something very key. Like thinking you always needed someone or
That's good.
something else to be whole. That kind of goes in with what we've been talking about, this identity crisis. You
Right.
mentioned relationships and all of that. How do you think, if you will, tie your book into what we've been talking about? If there are people who are watching today who are dealing with the lack of self-love or having identity crisis, thinking they need somebody or they are not enough and all this kind of thing, talk to those people. What bit of advice would you give them based on your life and the things you've written?
Yes. So self-love now definitely ties into the self-identity crisis, because even though, I mean, everybody has different stages where they hit an identity crisis. It may come younger, it may come older. Sometimes you think you know who you are and you get to a place in life, something happens to you and you don't know, you realize you don't really know who you are, or, you were taught to be a way and you thought that's who you are. But I was having those same thoughts. I didn't know who I was. I was looking for purpose. Basically, in my life, I was like, why was I born? What am I here for? Am I just here to go through things? Am I just here to go through pain? Am I just here? Was I just born just to be, just to hurt, basically? So that's where that came from. I was like, who am I? What am I really passionate about? What do I really want to do? What makes me happy? What gives me, that drive? Even if, no matter what, it just gives me that drive. And that's where my books came in and the writing came in, because I realized it was just something that I did. It was something that I referred to when I was going through things, and uh, it helped me come more into myself, and help me know, like, okay, I know myself. It helped me, I write down my thoughts, and then, or I might do like a video. I can see myself, I can see
Get it out.
I can
Yeah,
see where I'm coming from, right? Those type of things.
I like that. So you mentioned, and I see a question, you put it up, Nate. You mentioned a failed relationship that didn't go the way you thought it would go.
That's good, Cherie. Yep. I was thinking, yep.
What do you think that was about? Based on your self-love, your POV, like what your point of view. What is help somebody who's dealing with that same thing? Because I know people who feel like they always got to be with somebody.
Come on, Cherie.
They are never satisfied being alone or single, because I believe alone and lonely are not synonymous.
Right. Yeah, they're not.
So they don't know how to be alone. They always feel like they got to be in a relationship, and a lot of times those are toxic relationships. They end up getting played, taken for everything. And I think that leads to something on the inside. There's a void or something. Talk about that.
Right. Yep. Exactly what you said. In a nutshell, really. It was, it was a void. I realized that I was trying to fill, basically because, I thought, okay, it was like, I found them attractive. I found them interesting. I wanted to be with them. But I started to really look at it like, okay, why do I want to be with them? Why do I feel like I need to be with them? Why do I feel like if they walked away from me, like life is just over. Like I'm gonna stop breathing and smiling or something. Like, so I started to look at it from that point of view, instead of, okay, what I want or what I think I want, and it's probably not something that I even need. And I wasn't even looking at how I was being treated, being treated improperly. I wasn't really receiving or being reciprocated, the same that I was given. So I looked at it from that view, like, okay, why do I feel like I need this? And then I started to really think about it. And sometimes, I mean, you know, your environment or who you were around or people that you're around, you feel like, okay, you know, everybody is doing this, or maybe I should do this. And, you know, that's where you come from. So you just think, okay, I should have this and I need to have that and I need to have this to be, you know, considered like,
Yeah.
oh, or considered great or considered healthy. So you start
Wow.
to look for it. And then it's like, once it runs away from you, you know, sometimes it runs away from you and you're like, wait, but I wanted that. And then, you know, you try to run after it and it's not healthy, because now it's like you trying to chase something that doesn't want you, or honestly, there's probably
That's
something for
good.
you. Yeah.
That's good.
Did you pick up? And y'all, I like the way she said I had to ask myself these series of questions. Why do you feel like why do you feel like if they left your life, you ain't gonna be able to go on? Why do you feel
right?
Like, what is it about me that I feel like I have to have them when it is clearly not working? They are clearly breaking my spirit. They are clearly, like you said, don't want me. Why? Why am I chasing? Those are good questions, y'all, that we need to sit with. And I think so many times we don't do that.
That's
we
good.
Just going from one relationship to the next, one relationship to the next one, never stopping to have a conversation with myself.
That's good.
There's a question from the audience. What was the shift?
Right.
What event happened that said, I'm not walking what I'm talking and trying to convey to your audience? Wait a minute. What event happened?
Right. It was a series of events, really. Even with just friendships, like actual, like platonic friendships, people that I was like that were close to me in my life. It wasn't just even in just an intimate relationship form. It was also friendship wise too. Meaning, I was people pleasing, or I also, it was the same thing. I felt like if I didn't do something or if I didn't come through for them, you know, then they wouldn't want to talk to me no more, or they would be mad at me, or, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not a good friend, or I'm not who I said that I was to them because I said no, or I said I can't do it, or because I couldn't do it. So I would always think about, okay, how would they feel, or me not basically expressing how I might have felt about something because I didn't want to rub them the wrong way, but you know, they're happy and I'm still feeling, you know, what I'm feeling on the inside, but like, you know, it's not getting me anywhere. So it was a series of things going on. Like, and it was like, okay, I'm saying self-love, I'm talking about it. I'm like, you know, I don't even know why I came up with it, but it just came to me. And I'm like, you know, this is not, you know, what's going on. But eventually, like, it took some time to get there, but I did get there. But yeah, it was like I was almost like I was writing my future, if that makes sense. Like, because the series event still had to happen.
Yeah. I like that.
This book sounds like a revelation that so many young people need to have, not just them. Some boomers still need to learn what self-love really is, accepting and loving yourself first. And that was my question, Cherie, to Mahogany. How would you define self-love in your own words? I mean, what does that mean to you? Loving self. What does that look like?
For me, self-love, now that I've grown up, a little older, I have a little bit more experiences with people in life, things like that. What it looks like to me now is, you know, having a higher self-esteem, a higher confidence about yourself. Also learning how to set boundaries without feeling like you're not that good person, or you're not able to come through. But also too, looking at yourself, making sure that you are good, so that way when you're good, you can help other people out, or the people around you can, thrive off of you being better, or off of you feeling good, or off of you actually being, good inside and out, not just looking good on the outside and just having it all together. Because I was also that type of person. You would never really know anything that I was going through, or mentally what I was dealing with, because it didn't seem like I didn't wear it. Like, I would just do what I needed to do. But the whole time I was, down. I was depressed. I was feeling all these emotions and having these rushing thoughts and things like that was going on with me. But nobody really knew, because, I keep a smile on my face. I do what I need to do. I'm at where I need to be. And, that was that. But it's more than that. You are more than just what you can provide. You are more than just
That's
what
so
someone
good,
sees you
Mahogany. Oh,
for. You are more than just what you can do for someone else. It's also how you feel, what you need, because honestly, the better that you are, the better that you can be for anybody else that you're trying to help. And also too, the last thing I came up with is, if you don't know how to love yourself, then you can't really say, you love somebody else, because you're
Come
not
on.
even giving it, to your own self. So it's like, how can you say that you really love somebody else? Maybe you love something, an idea of them, or you love something about them that you think, okay, I love this person wholly, but you don't love them. You know what I mean? So that's basically.
That's good.
that's so good, Mahogany. Any questions for Mahogany? Y'all type them in. So many people say they need this.
Mm-hmm.
Mahogany, you got to go back and watch the replay. You get mad, love. People are really commenting and sharing. So yeah, let me ask you this, and Cherie, we can keep pushing. You're young. How old are you, Mahogany? You 20? I think you 24.
24, yeah.
24. You're young. So where did at what point in your life do you think you lost your identity? Was it, and I get, you were raised, your parents, and your voice really wasn't heard, but do you remember a time in your life where you said, you know what, this is where I kind of lost myself? Was it middle school, high school? At what point did you feel that loss?
I didn't get to feel it until I left home, really, because I was home, and home was what I was dealing with, and then me just trying to make sure that I was doing good at school and doing what I needed to do so that I can have a better life when I leave home. I was always thinking that way. So regardless of what I was going through at home, I always was like, okay, I need to do this because I know there's going to be a next step. So there's going to be something after this. So then once I left home and once I joined the military, that's when I had the moment, okay, of who am I? That's when I was able to process those emotions and process those thoughts.
That's
That's
good.
good. There's a question in the comments from Tia.
Tia, okay.
Go up.
Okay, I
And
see
I
it.
can, yeah. When you chose to put yourself first and reinvent yourself, how did you deal with people who keep you in your past self?
Mm.
Our question. Then, how do you love yourself when people want you to be your old self? So, first, how did you deal with after you have reinvented yourself or
Mm.
discovered yourself? How do you deal with people who try to keep you as your past self? And then, how do you love yourself when you're around those people who want you to be your old self?
That's so good. Good question, Tia.
That is a good question. I will say, like, loving yourself. Now, being strong is not for the weak, because I did it. Those people that if I reinvented myself and I felt like it was something that was no longer serving me, not that I didn't care about them, or not that I didn't, deeply have concerns and want to be a part of their lives, things like that. Like I always have been, but I had to let them go. I mean, I didn't want to, and it did bother me. It still will bother me on and off, because I'm that kind of person. I take my friendships and relationships serious. I take them deeply. I don't take them like a shallow, we're just doing this kind of thing. So everybody's not like that, though. I had to learn that, everybody's different. Everybody kind of moves how they, move. So
Mhm.
really, I had to separate myself from them. And then if it came up to it, of course, if they reached back out or they wanted to, be how things were, the only way that I would indulge is if they realize, okay, things are just different now. And it's either that we're going to have the hard conversation, or if they don't want to have the hard conversation and they want to avoid it at all costs. And it's like all that time, you just didn't care about, what we needed to have that conversation. And it's like, I told you and I voiced it to you and you didn't really care about it. And now you're trying to come up to me later on and you're still not really acknowledging the hard conversation. So we're never having it. You're just trying to move forward. Then I realized, okay, what I felt, or everything that I was doing, or me separating myself, was a good thing for me. So
Wow.
that's how I look at it. It's hard. I'm not saying like it's so easy, or I was like, yes, it's just, me. But then it's like once you do it and once you stand on it, like you start to realize, okay, I can do this. You know, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And then you start to gain more confidence in the fact that, okay, I listened to myself and
Right.
That's
it
it.
was best. Yeah.
Listen to yourself. And I think again,
You beyond your years, girl.
yeah, because a lot of times I think a lot of us can agree we have listened to everybody else
For sure.
so much at the demise of our own self. And like you said, everybody leaves feeling great, but I go home feeling depleted because I give,
Right.
even when it don't feel good to me, just so that I can make sure they're okay, so I can make sure they still like me tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, that and I've been there. And I think a lot of us, if we will tell the truth, we've been there.
Yeah.
But again, I think I saw it in the comments. Kim Fife might have said it. Self-love comes with maturity.
That's
And
right.
creating boundaries comes with maturity. At
That's right.
some point, there has to be an aha moment or
Right.
a defining moment,
Right.
if you will, for us when we decide to put ourselves first. And I don't mean that in a selfish manner, but it's because I can't keep giving if I don't have nothing else to give. So
Right.
I got to take care of me.
That's real.
You know?
Yeah. I want to read this comment just to encourage Mahogany.
Okay.
Wow, 24. This is why we as boomers and older should be open to conversations with the younger generations. It provides an avenue for them and helped us to understand where they are. Thank you, Precious, for your transparency.
Yeah, thank you.
Somebody said, Rwanda said, Mahogany, I admire how you discover self-love at an early age, which will make you a great asset to youth as well as adults in the future. Kudos.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cherie, she said something though that we don't like. This word we don't like. When you asked her, or the question in the comments, how did you not go back to that old self? The first thing she said, Cherie, was she isolated herself. She removed herself.
Mm-hmm.
So that period of removal, meaning that if they were not going to respect your boundaries, you had to make a decision to remove yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said what now?
Let's say a hard decision. Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I believe it's hard, but I think that's something that to find ourselves again, we have to sometimes separate ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the part we don't like.
That's
We
what we
don't
want
like to be by ourselves.
Right.
But you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think being by ourselves a lot of times it forces us to have to sit with ourselves, and that's what a lot of people don't want to do.
Right.
So if I stay around people and I keep busy, then I don't ever have to deal with me.
Yep.
And that's just not a good thing. I like Tracy says avoidance does nothing if you can't have the hard conversation. It's never going to change, and it may be better to stay disconnected from that individual, because just avoiding people and not having the conversation,
right,
missing. I mean, they still don't know no more than they knew before. But like you said, you got to have that conversation and say, "Hey, this is what it is. If you want to roll with it, you can. If you don't, then we're gonna have to part ways, because I'm not doing that anymore."
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Terica, I used to avoid isolation because you feel you will miss something, but we are missing something greater not given to ourselves. It took a while to understand and appreciate isolation. That's good.
Yes.
That's good, Cherie.
That's the truth.
Bridget say, I can truly relate, my God, feeling obligated to continue to be in a friendship or relationship that was toxic.
Mm-hmm.
I thank God for breaking those chains.
Yeah. And that all comes with realizing who you are, self-love, my identity. He didn't create me for this.
Right.
He didn't create me for this. He made me in his image and in his likeness. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And this right here ain't a part of that. Being mistreated, underappreciated.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Any other questions for Mahogany? Y'all type them in, and she'll answer them. definitely beyond your years at 24, and you're helping a lot more seasoned people in the room on today. Elder Joe Chapman, if they don't want to talk, they don't want to change.
That's true.
My. Brittany says, something I've learned is self-love is so important because all that love, I go home feeling depleted from pouring out. I can learn to give to myself.
Yes.
Listen to this, Mahogany. Mahogany, you're a brave, strong young lady. I'm so glad you were able to set boundaries in isolation at an early age. You are an inspiration to others.
Thank you.
That's good. And this is encouraging you. I want you to know, that your, stories that we have that are not always the beautiful beginning, it's necessary. Your story is being told now to the world, and thousands of people are going to watch this broadcast, Mahogany, and I appreciate that so much. So you're 24 now, and how are you handling as you deal with finding yourself? And I'm not saying this because if you were my little sister or daughter, I wouldn't even want you dating. You'll probably be on lockdown and all that. But no, she can't. No, 24, you can't date. So,
oh my God.
But anyway, Mahogany, how do you handle the men who approach you? Because you talked about when we were offline, people see your outward, you work out, you're very, together, and you talk about that. A lot of women talk about that. And we talk about how sometimes people see us. So you are approached a lot. How do you handle that as it relates to not being pulled back into that cycle? How do you get to know the opposite sex, the men, or even not just men? How do you assess now as it pertains to your life and who you give that time to at 24 years old?
Yes, that's a good question. Well, right now I'm not dating, but I don't really, because I don't see a reason to. Because you come across a lot of the same things. So right now it's not going on. But the way that I assess, or the way that I see, okay, this person is for me, this person is not. It's really conversation. You do at least have to, be nice enough to speak to them and things like that. So have a conversation with them, and I'm like, okay, I decipher like based off our conversations or our interactions or how, I just let them be themselves. That's one thing too. I don't come off as judgmental or, like I'm judging them or, interrupt them when they're speaking or something like that. I let them be who they are so that way I can know who they are, and that way, okay, I know if you're for me or if you're not for me. I don't tell them like outright, okay, you're not for me. But they find out, of course, because it's obvious, I let it be known, like, okay, this is not going to work for me. I don't string people along or anything like that. I don't really feel the need to use them for attention or things like that. People do that too as well. So I don't do that to people. If I know that you want to be more than just a friend to me and I know that I don't want to be, I tell you, I let you know, okay, I don't want to be.
Just good cross.
I leave it at that. I don't elaborate too far. I don't elaborate too much because sometimes people, you elaborate and then they try to take it and be like, well, no, that's not what I meant by it. Or, and it's like, they try to switch it up and try to change your mind. And, it's like, I'm just, I'm okay. So basically I just know, I know exactly how to assess, how to decipher between, okay, this will work for me and this won't work for me based off experiences of what didn't work, what worked, and what I noticed bothers me. Because everybody's different. Some people can deal with certain things. Some people it's okay for certain things, certain behaviors from certain people. But the kind of person that I am, I have to be particular about who I give that type of time to. So
that's good. That's good, Mahogany. Cherie, I don't see any other questions. I see a lot of comments coming in, but we'll take a few more questions for you, Mahogany. We have 187 people in the room right now. Self-love will develop a confidence that man can't damage. And to me, it goes hand in hand with the love God has for us and knowing that we were created in his image on purpose, knowing whose you are and who you are. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Charles said 24. Yeah, I mean, life will teach you what.
No, he talking about you. Talking about she can't date if she was your daughter.
Yeah, but she a woman of God. You hear? I ain't dating right now. See that oil that's flowing
But
down.
if she wants to, she
I
can.
know she can. I'm having fun with it. But I asked that question, Cherie, because when you don't know yourself, you're not quick to
Oh,
assess. You just let people in, Cherie. Just let people in. I don't want to be by myself. I want to hang out. Then they got a key 3 weeks later.
yeah, that ain't healthy.
They're around your kids.
Not good.
You know how many people see people coming in and out of their home and different. That's psychological stuff that we
Yeah,
don't talk about.
I was that kid. So
You say you were that kid.
yeah, I've seen that too.
So yeah.
Yeah. Swante said, I like how you said I'm not dating right now because it's not important right now and that you don't feel the need to.
Need to.
He got you in quotes.
And that's so good because some people feel like they got to. Like it's something that's necessary. I gotta be connected to another man. I gotta be connected to a woman, whatever.
Yeah.
No. Get connected here. Connect your mind and your heart. Get
Right.
that connected so that you can feel good about yourself, so that you can know your worth. This is why I tell women all the time, and it is true for men as well. But more so, I think because we're more emotional creatures.
Right.
We tend to give in to our emotions.
Right. Yeah.
So easy.
That's
And then
it.
I think you said before, you see your friends doing it. Well, I need to date too, or all your friends getting married and engaged and married. Well, I need to, if you're with somebody, let me push his hand so he can go in and ask me to marry him. I've
That's
seen
good, Cherie. That's good.
all my friends doing it.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Mama Barbara said, I'm using isolation to elevate me and myself.
Yeah.
All right. So, Cherie, I think we should close this way. Mahogany, I'm going to ask you in just a minute how they can purchase your book, but what would you say to the person? How would you summarize to that person who's feeling not too good about themselves? Not the outlook is not very hopeful in their eyes. What would be your encouragement to them and advice as they move into their Monday? And again, remember, you're going to be talking to people who are going to watch, because we have a whole nother wave of people coming in as soon as we log off. They're going to be. So talk to people. And I see another question, and then I'll go back and get this question.
Another good comment too.
Okay, I'll catch those. So what would be your advice to people who just are not in that good space now?
Yes. My advice to people who are not in that good space of loving themselves, I would definitely start with, of course, that I've been there. Or I've also still have those type of moments sometimes, because it comes and go. Everything is not just a straight path. Sometimes it takes. It's like you start at square one and you'll get to the top, and then sometimes you'll start all over again because you get back into that same feeling that you gotten away from, or you thought you have gotten away from, and then a new challenge in life comes. So I would say that life is going to keep happening. Things are going to keep happening to you, and you overcome something, but you also have to overcome some other things as well. So it's like you get through something, but you got to get through something else, because it's needed. And I would also say that if you're feeling like you're not in that good space, then I would say figure out how to prioritize yourself somehow. In a way, of course, that's not taken away from things that you were obligated to, or that you created obligation to, because sometimes we create obligations for ourselves that we almost can't keep up with, but we thought that we could because of the heart that we have, the drive that we have, the energy we have. And just you have to try to find a way and try to communicate, of course, to those people or the people that you love and stuff, like, okay, I need to prioritize myself because I need this so that I can continue to be what I need to be for you guys and things like that. And then also too, that it's okay to not feel okay. That's also okay. That
That's
happens.
good. That's
It's
good.
not, we can't just keep we're human, you know. So sometimes you don't feel okay. Sometimes there's no real reason. Sometimes it just happens, and you're just like in a moment, and you know you gotta get yourself out of the moment, but you feel what you need to feel, and you get through it, and you keep going.
That's
You know, you
good.
find some reason to keep going.
Mhm. That's good. Was this the comment, Cherie, you were referring to?
Yeah.
Or you want to read that? And I see a
Yeah.
couple more questions, Mahogany.
My 15-year-old told me, Mom, I have been here when everyone has come and gone. I'll be here. I never realized the impact people coming and going had
Wow.
on my
Yeah.
kids.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Mhm. And
Wow.
could that the fact that the child had to remind the mom, and I don't know, but a lot of times I'm here when they gone. When these people keep coming in and out, I'm here. I think it may that child might have said that so that you can, hey, I'm here, see me, because you don't want them to grow up feeling like I'm not enough. I'm not enough because my mama got to keep having all these people come in and out, in and out, in and out, but never seeing me. I've been here. I'm the common denominator. I'm the remaining factor. Right.
Right.
No, I'm the one that's gonna always be here.
That's
So
so good.
let's make our children feel seen, y'all.
And I'm gonna say this because I lived it as as a single, growing up in a single parent home. My mom did date. She dated wisely. I didn't see men coming in and out my house,
Right.
first and foremost. But the man who she ended up marrying, my mom's been dead now many years, but Cherie, the man she ended up marrying was the only man that I could think of who she dated who included me.
And
What
you
I
remember
mean by
that
that,
in your
yeah,
40s.
watch this, Cherie. Hey, can Nate go bowling with us?
Mm.
Can I take Nate up to the park? And I remember that because y'all got to understand this. I'm talking from experience. To all you ladies with kids and men, because they're single fathers, everybody don't want the whole package.
Mm.
They want you. But it's the key. I can remember looking out the window when my mama would leave because they never came in the house unless it was something. They never came in my house.
Right.
But I remember, man, why can't I go? They never asked, you know. And so I think that's a great thing to remember that your kids are watching this and they have feelings and they don't need to feel lesser than because we're so caught up in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because it can have a major impact there.
She said his dad and stepdad make him feel invisible. He's never seen me date. He just has seen my husband not be present, leave, and come back and still not be present.
That's deep,
So he
man.
feels not seen. Yeah.
You know, that's what he's saying.
Ensure him.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
In his own way as a 15-year-old, because he's a baby, he's a child. You know, so here's a question, Mahogany. How do you handle past and childhood traumas with your current long for love?
Yes. So I did also do therapy for about 2 years while I was in the military, and
That's good.
that helped me process things that I went through as a child. Talking about it. At first, I thought talking about it wasn't going to do anything for me because I remember growing up and just talking about my situation, but I was still in it. And I felt like it didn't do anything for me because I was still in the situation. So I would always feel discouraged regardless of the conversation, because it was still going on. So once I left the situation and I was able to be to myself, that's when really I started to process everything. Even my body started to process things. Like me still, sometimes I still receive nightmares from the childhood trauma, and I'm 24, and I've been gone 6 years. So it takes some time, but like it's like my body even started to process what I had, been going through, because I would always have to push it to the back of my head. I would have to just keep going and just kind of live like nothing's going on, everything's normal, because if I did, then I would be in trouble. So I didn't have like much time to process it till I got older. And once I was able to process it and everything like that, I just I would either, if I need to, I would write, but I also did do therapy, or if I need to talk about it, I would talk about it like I'm doing now. This is therapeutic for me talking about it, the interviews, like all of that helps me. That's why, to me, regardless of how far this goes or anything like that, I'm happy, I'm satisfied with it, because it, like I said, it does something for me that money can't buy. It does something for me that nobody else has done for me. It does something for me that, that I need, and that keeps me going, and it helps me out. So that's how this is really, these things like this is how I do actually deal, and how I process things that I've gone through, talking to other people that can relate. You'll be surprised how many people, and honestly, the people in your life too, you'll be surprised if you ask them some of the things they went through as a child. Y'all went through the same things, and you kind of be shocked. Like, if you never had the conversation with them, you wouldn't even know. Like, you guys been around each other all this time, and you had no clue you guys went through some similar things or worse. So,
wow.
I think I cry before Cherie cry, but this kind of stuff here, man. When people overcome Cherie,
yeah, and you don't, like she said, you have no idea, because we know how. And my pastor says this often. We know how to, come out the door representing, looking good. So you will never look at me and know that this happened or that happened or I overcame this just by looking at me. There's not a look.
God, dog.
Cherie. So that's why relationship is so important. Being relational with people is so important, because you get to know things that you wouldn't know just by seeing them, or watch this, just by serving in ministry with them. You won't know that stuff,
right?
Through conversations.
Yeah. Cherie, let's get this last question and let everybody go. How do you know when you need to know yourself, if that makes sense? Because I think I know myself, but I think I don't.
I got you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that right there, also, really, that very question, if the question comes up to you in your, to yourself in your mind, that's how you know that you do need to know yourself, because it's the fact, like I was saying, when I was younger a few years back, and I started to think about it, because I even thought about it while I was in high school, due to like me feeling down or not feeling love or not feeling what I needed to feel. I would think like, okay, well, what's next? Like, is this all it is? Is this what it's supposed to be? Is there a reason for this, that I was born into this? As soon as you start asking yourself those questions, that's when you know, okay, I need to know myself. I don't know myself as much as I think I do.
And I think it's an ongoing thing. I think you should ever be knowing yourself. I don't think there's a time you pause and say, I don't want to know myself right now.
That's smart.
Always be knowing yourself. Always be in tune with who you are.
Right.
But more so, like you said, when you have to, for instance, I'm just using that dating situation again. When you feel like I can't live without them or I need them, that's when you know you need to pump your brakes and ask myself, why do I feel like this? What is it about me that makes me feel like I can't go on if they left my life? What is it about me that makes me feel like if I didn't work at this or had this particular position that I am not enough? What is it about me that makes me feel like I got to be in this friend circle? Because if they don't like me no more, then I ain't nobody. What? Check. The bells are ringing. I need to pause and sit with myself. But I think it's a ever going. You don't ever stop.
Yep.
Right. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I'm 47 and I'm loving the advice.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What is it within your spirit that gives that person so much power? Is that a question?
That's for you to ask yourself.
Right.
What is it in me that gives that person so much power over me? That's good, Brittany.
Yeah. Brittany, that's good. Yeah. This was great. Mahogany, can you help us? How can they purchase your book?
The book is available on Amazon. Well, it's available for pre-order, on Amazon, but it does officially release July 1st, but it is available for purchase. And I also have done like personal signed copies as well. So that's also another way. And yeah, they're available on Amazon.
And it's Self-Love Now. Mahogany Clark is the name. Go to Amazon. Let's support her.
Are both of them on there? Self-Love and Self-Love Now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I have truly enjoyed these sessions on self-love and self-awareness. Hey, Molly, you just won't leave, will you, girl?
She's not leaving.
Come on, Molly. I told you this faith room gonna pull you in, girl. They have personally provided an abundance of understanding and clarity. Thank you, Faith Room. Yeah. Now, Mahogany, she was a guest first time a week ago. Now she in this thing. We done gave her a key.
Yes.
We done gave her a key. Danielle said, there's pictures of famous artists and actors that have committed suicide. They're all smiling on the pic. It says, this is what depression looks like. Wow.
You won't know.
Good gracious goodness. Mahogany, go back and watch the comments today, and you'll be encouraged. And we
getting blessings from Hawaii.
Yeah, aloha.
God bless this young woman as she continues to grow and inspire people along the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Good deal.
This was great.
All right. And for all you fellas watching, don't go to Mahogany inbox, because me and Cherie be knowing this stuff y'all be doing. Thank y'all. That's why Cherie's smiling, because I'll say it. All right, y'all leave her alone.
She just said
she got that spirit. She got that spirit on her.
I'm not. She's not doing that right now.
Yeah. But Cherie, you know why we have to say that, Ree? Come on, you Ree.
I get it.
Okay.
There's some hellhounds out here sniffing, seeking whom they may devour.
Did you say sniffing?
Sniffing.
No,
smell vulnerability. I smell vulnerability. Not over here, she said. Not over here. You don't smell it.
But Cherie, can you just do this for me? Please let people know I ain't just say that comment. What did we deal with? Tell them what we deal with.
No, that's real. That's real. We do have people going into and it's usually females being accosted by men. Sliding them DMs when they ain't got no business in there.
Tony Johnson, hell.
We always find out. Please trust and believe. We find out.
And then I have to calm Cherie down. Then I have to calm down. Cherie be like, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, Mahogany focused, and she doing great things. 24 years young, yeah. Great things. And Faith Room, if you want to be a blessing to her today, let's do that today.